The Lunch Hour with Jason Avant, sponsored by Walnut Street Smiles at Chestnut Dental Studio, part of the Dudat Dental Group, official dentist of the Philadelphia Eagles. Jason, how you doing this week, man?
I'm doing good, Joe. Good to hear from you guys. Sorry I couldn't be there. Had a miscommunication there.
Yeah, that's on Steiny. That's all good.
It's all good.
We're gonna browbeat him when we get a chance.
He's on the hot seat.
Shout out to Steiny. Steiny does a great job, man, of doing all the stuff that he does for us, especially down here in Delaware. Yeah, but he dropped the ball on this one.
Yeah, it happens. It's good, though. It's kind of like the Eagles. It's not perfect, but we're going to win anyway. And the Eagles are winning anyway. Jason, when you watch that game Sunday night, what really – and I know where you're your side of the ball and where you play, but what stood out to you? How dominant the defense was and what they did to that Lions offense, which was coming in averaging over 31 points a game, or how difficult it is for us to move the football?
No, I have to go with the positive. I thought that the defensive line played out of their mind, rattled Jared Goff the entire time. He saw ghosts for most of the night. He missed a wide-open touchdown throw because Jalen Phillips won so fast, along with Jalen Carter. They were getting pressure, and even when they didn't get to him, he was, flustered, stuttering with his feet. And I thought that was the biggest part of the game. Now, they have some explosive players, and so going against that is so hard when you have Jahmyr Gibbs and you have J-Mo out there. It's hard. But when you get the defensive line playing the way that they did, I thought it was outstanding. I'm talking about all members of the defensive line played really well.
Well, they were great, and it's one thing to do it a couple weeks ago. We talked about the Packers, right? The Packers are talented, but they're up and down, and there's at times they can't move the football even though they have talent. That wasn't the Lions, Jason. I mean, the Lions had come in off one of their best games of the season in Washington. I know Washington is a good defense, but they were coming in off a really good game. All the explosion you're talking about, Jason. It was the first time watching this year's defense that I was like, it kind of reminds me of last year. I mean, did you feel that watching? Because I never thought all this season they were really close to that level. But the last 2 weeks, especially this Lions game, it kind of reminded me of last year's defense.
Just a shout out to a few players. Like you have Jalen Phillips and what he was able to do against Penei Sewell, who's a lot of people already consider him for the Hall of Fame, and he is not even in his 6th, 7th year at all. So like to do that against Penei Sewell, win off the edge pretty consistently. You know what Jalen Carter is, but Nakobe Dean implemented back against the Vikings. No one has, gone over, 100 yards rushing since he's been back. And then to see what he was doing in coverage, isolated one time with Jahmyr Gibbs down the field, isolated with Jamison Williams one time down the field, and then the ruckus that he brings when he blitzes and also diagnosing runs. So that kind of solidifies the middle of your defense. Yes, and the Lions are an explosive offense. I thought that the wind played a key on both passing games, but when it came to just protecting the passer, Jared Goff was uncomfortable. They were able to stop the run game. And then Adoree Jackson, after getting beat with the touchdown, played aggressively for the first time this year and was not afraid to get run by and made some critical plays down the stretch. You had that what Quinion's doing, didn't give up a reception to his side. I thought it was, a great job by him.
You know what, Jason? I'm curious. The beginning of the game, we're still speculating recklessly about was the ball forced to AJ and things of that nature. To me, it looked like, there could have been a little bit of that. How did you see that first half and them trying to feed A.J. Brown the football? How did you see it?
I don't necessarily know if it was a forcing of the ball. I just thought that that's the way you should try to get him the ball. You saw like him, behind the line of scrimmage. We call that a wide receiver slide where you go behind the line of scrimmage. Those are things that you should have been doing at the beginning of the year. So maybe on that particular player, you may say that. But AJ had a lot of opportunities in this particular game, and that's what you want. Now, I will say this is that the Detroit Lions had a great game plan against AJ and the route concepts of the Philadelphia Eagles in general. And, they tried to get him the ball, but I thought that Detroit Lions were prepared for it. And to be honest, the receivers lost their one-on-ones, not just A.J., Devontae too. The receivers as a whole lost their one-on-one battles against, Amik Robinson and Rock Ya-Sin. They lost that pretty much the entire day.
Jason, how much of that was the weather part of that? Do you think there was some slipping the last two games with some of the linemen? Do you think that affected? How much did it affect the passing game on both sides? Because we're really up right now on the defense. We're obviously down on the offense. The last two games were difficult conditions to play in with cold and obviously this past Sunday night a lot of wind. How much do you think that affected both the good we saw with the Eagles defense and the bad we saw with the offense?
Huge. So this game, for me, I really kind of throw this passing game out of the window when you have 30-mile-per-hour gusts and then 15-mile-per-hour wind pretty much the entire game. It's hard, and I know people don't want to hear this, but it's harder to play in wind for a passing game than it is for rain. And so when it's windy, that ball dies a lot. It moves left, right, up, and down, and you don't know when it's when it's going to happen. And so that's why Jalen Hurts was off as much as he was, with missing Saquon down the field, some throws here and there, and both players were missing routine throws. That's what happened. Now, I will say, to start that game, Jalen Hurts was really sharp. His first 4 passes were right on the money. 2 of them were drops. The other was just didn't happen. But I thought that he played, good to start, and that his percentage would have been higher if they would have caught those passes at the beginning of the game.
Jason, do you feel, we've got 10 weeks of this sample. Do you feel that there's still room for this offense to grow?
Oh, yeah, a lot of growth. And you see, and you're starting to see that it switched. And here's the dilemma. There has to be more creative play calling. I'm starting to see the offense be more aggressive. Now they have to be more great. And when I say aggressive, yeah, you can see it when they call a deep cross on their own goal line, right, from the 3 or 4 yard line, and then that's when Jahan Dotson ended up getting a scramble for a big gainer. They're starting to be more aggressive in the play calling. Now they just need more creativity. So I think that there is a lot to gain, and I think Kevin Patullo is actually growing as the season gets. And we got to remember that he's a first time. He's dealing with Jalen, and it's going to take time to get creative. And when I say that, think about this: when you think about creative play calling, you're asking 2 and 3 man receiver concepts to be close to each other and help each other get open, right? Defenders are closer to each other, so that takes a different level of processing for a quarterback. If you're looking at Stafford and what he does, it looks like very confusing until he throws the ball, and then it opens up. So it takes a different level of confidence in your quarterback, and as the season goes on, he's going to start to trust Jalen in that way, and Jalen's going to be able to pick up those concepts as well.
Well, we certainly hope for that. Jason Avant with us for the lunch hour here on the Midday Show. Jason, we want to get your take on this, and you could come at this from whatever perspective you want, just maybe what you're hearing, but then there's also the why is this coming out, and what does that mean for the organization and the team and morale. Let's play for you. A couple days ago, you probably heard or saw the quotes, but Derek Gunn on his postgame show with Seth Joyner about how there's some frustration within the team about Jalen Hurts. Let's hear Derek Gunn on his postgame show a couple nights ago.
I'm just basically telling you, there's a lot of people in that organization that are frustrated with the quarterback situation right now, but the quarterback understands he has them over a barrel. This is almost Carson Wentz part 2. They're not going to eat this kind of money yet. There's no way they're going to eat this kind of money. Look at the cap hit they took when they got rid of Carson, and it took them a couple of years to get back on solid ground again, footing, because they were handcuffed financially because of what they owed in the cap hit they took with Carson Wentz. You got the same scenario here with a bigger volume of money involved here.
All right, Jason, when you heard that, what's your reaction? It might all be, real, like they're frustrated with him, and that's why Derek's here. And I don't understand why this is coming out now at 8-2. It feels like it's totally unproductive for whoever that is to be leaking that to a reporter as the team's trying to win a back-to-back Super Bowl.
Back-to-back.
Yeah, you don't like that, dude. Do you hear squirm? You don't know what's real and what isn't. Have I heard that? I've heard that multiple times, but that doesn't mean that it's true. And you don't know if there is some type of quarrel with a person that doesn't like Jalen, or there's a lot of politics and there's a lot of positioning that can happen in an organization when this much money is involved, right? So that could be some of that. So it's all subject to someone's ears. We don't really know. So I don't know how to take that at all. I will say that no one has come to Jalen's defense when it comes to what A.J. Brown has said in the media. Normally you have a guy come out and say, hey, you know what? I totally disagree with A.J. He needs to do blah, 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 as from a player perspective. And they've just gone around that. So there could be some truth to what D. Gunn is saying.
Jason Avant with us here for the lunch hour. We are live at Roost Pub and Kitchen, downtown Wilmington, part of the Bardea Restaurant Group. Come on out and have lunch. The food here is incredible. The atmosphere is awesome. Come on out and hang out with us down in Wilmington. All right, Jason, so you mentioned there, the Jalen part. When you watch him throughout now 10 games, and I know the last game, talking about the win and throwing it out, how would you assess Jalen so far this season? To me, I view it a lot like last year. Now, there's issues with the run game that weren't there last year. There's issues with the offensive line that wasn't there last year. There's issues with A.J. maybe not having the separation ability as we saw in the past. But Jalen looks a lot like he did last year to me. How do you view the way Jalen is playing so far this season?
It's game by game. Some games, like I say, this game, I thought Jalen started the game out really good. I thought that the wind played a factor in some of his throws. I thought that for the most part, only with the exception of 2 plays that he didn't, that he got confused by the defense or didn't get the ball out. I only counted 2 plays this game. So I thought this game overall, he played winning under the circumstances. But you go game by game, I think that there is a lot of yardage that's left out there because of being on the wrong side of the field or not giving guys a chance. And so he did that this game, right? So you see A.J. Brown or Devontae after the Packers game, he says, when he catches the touchdown, just throw the ball up. And that's usually an indication that they've communicated to the quarterback that, hey, man, throw the ball up. And then they get the same cover 4 that they got from Packers game to the Lions game, and he throws the ball up to A.J. Brown, and A.J. Brown stops running. So there's wrong and right on both parties, on all sides, the offensive line, the quarterback, the receivers, the offensive coordinator. There's a lot of blame for everyone, and I don't think that Jalen should take all of it.
You know what? Speaking of Jalen, because I'm curious of how you see it, Jason, is because there's been a lot said about Jalen's growth as a quarterback. And, you talk about him being in his 5th year. Have you seen the type of growth from him that you would need from a person in that position? When you talk about like a Tom Brady or Justin Herbert this year, like he's grown, being in offense with Coach Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
So have you – is this growth that Jalen has, do you think it's substantial enough for it to be sustained in the NFL? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, so I think you always got to think of Jalen so there's times where you see Jalen take huge leaps, and then this year is kind of a step back. But I'm viewing it as like the stock market where it goes up and then it comes down a little bit, but it's going to go back up. That's the way I view it. So overall in his career, he's grown by leaps and bounds. Is it to the place that everyone wants or what we anticipate? No, it's not at that point yet. But I think that has to do with the lack of cohesiveness when it comes to new offensive coordinator all the time. So you have those aspects of the game, but there's things that you see that's like scratching your head sometimes where you're like, dude, there's opportunities out there for you to be on the right side of the play. Like he threw one to Kyle Granderson down the sideline. Oh, no, to Saquon. He threw a dime to Saquon on the left sideline early in the game against the Lions. But the reason he did that is because he was looking on the wrong side of the field first, and the zone side was the left side where he should have started, and then he kind of scrambled to that Saquon throw. So you look at things like that, and you're like, dude, there's something off when it comes to his ability to consistently do it at a high level, and that's what you want to see. And hopefully that cohesion with offensive coordinator can help him, bring that out more consistently.
Jason, one thing that is different this year, and I'm not sure if it is totally by design, if it's just kind of the way things have gone, or if they're waiting to do this. And Chris Collinsworth on the broadcast alluded to the idea he thinks they're waiting maybe until later in the season to keep him healthy. He just hasn't run as much as he used to. I mean, you look at some of the numbers, he's averaging about half of the yards per game rushing that he did maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And I know as a quarterback ages, especially ones that can run, this is kind of normal, whether it be Russell Wilson, Cam, that kind of happens as a quarterback gets to their 20s, upper 20s. But do you think they should run him more? Do you think that should be more part of the game plan to open things up? I think it could help the run game if he is still that threat in the defense's eyes that he will keep it and run the football. Where do you come down on Jalen running, and should he do it more?
Well, so yes, should he run more? I would say yes, because it does help the offense out. But here's the thing about it is that Jalen is the money man now. That's the thing. Like, so his team, the organization, many people are telling him, hey, you got to stay healthy. And so that's where the tentativeness is coming in is that he's looking at it like, dude, I am my own entity. I got to take care of myself long term. So that begins to creep in your brain. When you're going for the contract, it's a little bit different because you're putting it all on the line. When you have it, you're like, dude, I have the organization on my back and I can't get hurt by just running like haphazardly. So, but yes, do I think it would help open up the offense a lot more if he's a threat again? Yes, I believe that. But I think that he's afraid of being injured. And I think, people in this corner are telling him that.
All right, 215-592-94. Let's take a call here. Jason Avant with us for the lunch hour. Rob and Delco up with the Midday Show and Jason Avant. What's up, Rob?
Hey, good afternoon, Joe. Good afternoon, Hugh. Good afternoon, Jason.
What's up, man?
Hey, Rob.
Listen. I'm going to make a comparison here to Lane Johnson, and it may be harsh, okay? But this is how I'm feeling now. Every time I'm watching a game, I'm waiting for him to come out 2-3 plays. Who does that remind you of several years ago at left tackle?
It's Jason Peters, Rob. I feel I feel it. I mean,
only thing I can say to both of y'all, Father Time undefeated.
Yeah, it is.
Father Time undefeated.
Go ahead, let me finish.
I understand, Hugh. It's just like that's what it reminds you of. It's like every time
I got it, but it's undefeated.
I know,
for all
but,
of us.
But my thing is, apparently, if you listen to him, Rob from Delco, starting to look for that right tackle, Joe, in the next draft. We got to start looking for that right tackle, Joe. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, Rob, if I had to guess right now, offensive tackle, preferably one that could play guard, in the short term,
swing guy,
is probably going to be their first-round pick. I mean,
I hope so.
They've been rumored for that for a couple of years. The board hasn't fallen that way. They took Quignon, and they've taken defensive linemen. But Rob, I think you're onto something there. Rob, you think this offense is going to get better?
Joe, listen, you know me. I'm Jalen. I think he's number 2 in the league behind Mahomes right now. But right now, if I'm being honest, my grandmother always said, tell it like it is. I'm worried, Joe. I'm worried because I understand. I heard Jason's opening with the offensive coordinator, but I've seen enough. Joe. He's my scapegoat. I would have made the move during the bye week, Joe, and removed him. I would have. I'm sorry. This is our window, okay? This is our window for a dynasty, Joe, and I just can't waste it. I mean, I understand our offensive line isn't as good as it was last year, and it does start up front because you need time to throw the ball. Saquon's getting hit behind the line even before he gets started a lot of the times. I understand all that. But there's just way too much talent here. We can't get rid of the quarterback, right, Joe? He makes too much money. The running back. The wide receivers, right? Somebody's got to bite the bullet if this does not change. I'm sorry, it's just this is our shot for a dynasty, Hugh. I mean, you may not agree with it's just our shot for a dynasty. And
I totally agree with that. I agree with that. This is the shot. That's why I think they're kind of going through it.
So when you in regards to Lane, your opening comment, I would always say this is that offensive linemen and Lanes and Landon and all of these guys, they're playing through injuries. It's not something that they are they're not 100%, but those guys are playing through severe injuries that most people won't even attempt to play through. Right?
Speak on it.
Yeah, they won't even attempt to play through it. So because of this, because they'll come out and Cam Jurgens is hurt, and he come out looking bad, and now Toth had to go in. So Lane doesn't care about that because of where he is in his career. But the truth of the matter is that we got to appreciate these guys because they're playing through stuff that freaking Landon Dickerson is playing through what Joel Embiid missed the whole season with, right? So he's playing this year. So this is the type of thing that's going on with the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, they're different animals. And they played a lot last year, which, just adds to the wear and tear these guys have. Rob, what do you got for us for 2 words that go together for the prize?
All right, I'm going to say yin and yang.
That's
yin
a good
and
one.
Yang is a good one.
Don't they kind of is the whole point that they don't go together? They're
they're kind of like
I guess the words go together.
Yeah, but 2 words that are used together. Yeah, I mean, I think it counts. Rob, it's a good phone call. We appreciate it. I mean, the last few have been some of our better answers. Yin and yang, Dallas sucks. Yo, Adrian.
Yeah,
you like that one. All right, you know what is a banger? Everything here at the Roost Pub and Kitchen in downtown Wilmington, part of the Bardea Restaurant Group.
Joe.
The food, we go to a lot of places. The food here is incredible.
It's very tasty.
It's not your typical bar food. It's like bar food, but better. I mean, they brought us this bird tower. that they serve on Sundays. There's like 3 layers to it. So what do we have on top here? The glizzies.
They got the glizzies. They got the meatless thingies.
You got the wings and tenders on the second
just
row.
told
Is
me
the
the
wing and
name.
tenders.
You're kicking ass right now.
No, hey, listen, Kyle, I'm on top of my game.
No
It's the
one's a better
meatless
pitch
thingies.
man than Hugh Douglas.
And then we got the sweet potato fries with the mushroom. No, we got the sweet potato fries with the marshmallow dipping sauce.
Yeah.
And we have what's
Regular
that look like? A
fries?
regular? No, the salad. They got a little salad on the side. They got some.
Greek
we got
salad?
some veganism.
You got
that's going in. Excuse me. What are these again? What are these called? Cheesesteak bao buns. Yeah, cheesesteak bao buns.
There you
we
go.
got some veganism up here too. We got some of that veganism.
Not sure if that is the way it's said, but we'll go with that.
We got some of that. We got about 4 different sauces up here for the chicken
The
wings.
sauces are great. Everything here is great. Come on out and hang out with us.
They need to take that salad out. Though ain't nobody eat no salad on
I
game
mean,
day.
They
Salad?
need you as a spokesperson there. Hugh.
Yeah,
There's no better pitch man than Hugh
Hey,
Douglas.
Jason, I be nailing them words like a mofo, dog. I got words down. They might not make no sense to nobody but me, but I got them.
That Marconi Award is ours at some point. I know that. All right, before we go any further, we'll get back to your phone calls. Jason's with us for the lunch hour. Jason, we want to play this for you and get your take on it. So Greg Cosell has been around the NFL a long time, and he watches film. And we're curious if you see the film and the way the tape's similar to Greg Cosell when he's talking about the Eagles' offense. Let's hear Greg Cosell this week talking about the Eagles' offense and what he sees.
I'm truly confused. I mean,
I'm with you.
I know people want to rip, the coaching staff, and that's fine. But there's no way that Nick Sirianni and Kevin Petullo don't know route concepts and route combinations. There's no way that they don't know these things. My question is why? Why does this offense essentially look like a high school offense in the pass game with a quarterback that they're almost playing to protect? That's the way it looks on tape. I'm not making a judgment about the talent of Jalen Hurts. There's no judgment here. This is what the tape shows.
Right.
The tape shows a pass game that's very remedial and elementary in its concepts and combinations, and there's no way Nick Sirianni doesn't know these things. Nick Sirianni was in the league for quite a while before he even got to the Eagles he was with Phillip Rivers, okay? Mm-hmm. So he knows these things. Kevin Petullo has been in the league long enough. He knows these things too. I talk to coaches in the off season. I've been to training camps. All these coaches know these things, believe me. So I'm truly more surprised and befuddled than anything else. That's the way I feel when I watch the Eagles' offensive tape.
All right, Jason, how do you unpack that? Because
that was heavy-handed.
It was, but he's saying it in a way a lot of fans say it, like the route concepts seem too simple. They're not getting guys open, and he's attacking it from like the coaches know this too, and then we're all wondering like why. So, do you see it the same way in terms of the concepts they use, and then what's your interpretation on the why they do this?
Yeah, so me and Greg have worked together for multiple years, so we normally watch the film and see things alike. When it comes to this, it's kind of what I said earlier. When you're talking about route combinations, there really isn't. We're on, guys are on one side of the field and they have individual routes. And so they have, 2 slants, or they have a stop route. AJ has a go, but that's AJ's route combinations pretty much the entire time. Same way with Devontae. They run slants when they need to, 3rd and, 1 to 6 or whatever it is going to be a slant. If it's a little bit further than that, they're going to run a stop route, and then Jalen will pop it up to him every now and again. And it's all individual route based on the outside. It's basically, day one offense of install. It's your doubles, so you'll have your double go, double slant, you'll have your double stop, you'll have your double out. It's all of those things. It's nothing that has to do with 2-man combinations like I was talking about. So yes, it is very, very basic. And so it could be an indictment on Jalen Hurts. It could not be. It could be something else. But that's what it seems to me. It seems that they're reluctant to open it up and do complex things.
Hugh, when you hear that, like how do you rectify that? Because I agree with Jason. I agree with Greg Cosell. These coaches have to know this is too simple, and it's probably not leading to good things, but yet they keep doing it. What's the why?
I don't want to attack the messenger because I think Greg Cosell's been in this game a lot, and he knows what he sees. So I'm not going to poo-poo that. But I am the timing. Like he's kind of been in this space for a while. So it's not like he hasn't said something similar before.
Right, and it's been like this probably for a while.
Yeah. But I'm looking at and you know, Jason, you've been in this business too. The timing is interesting to me because the team's 8-2, and the heavy-handed delivery is where I'm looking at like, man. And the fact coupled with, you know, the reports that, you know, Jalen's kind of a renegade and things of that nature, it just kind of makes you wonder where is all of this coming from, and how valid is it?
It's only it can only go so far. And here and let me bring it back to the game.
Yeah.
When you go to the game, Hugh, it only can work if your players are better than the other players. It doesn't matter what you run if your players are better than the other players.
Yeah.
But Detroit is really, really good in man coverage, and they have a coaching scheme that can figure out stuff. Like they do a great job on the back end of the defense. And so now it becomes a bigger problem and shines a brighter spotlight when you're going against a team like that can defense it, shut it down. It makes the receivers look like, oh, they lost their one-on-one battles, but you look at it from a whole, you're like, dude, this is way too simple for a team like this. And on the opposite end, they practice against an offense that has all the tricks. So they're looking at this like, dude, this is like a picnic for us. This is so easy to cover in comparison to what we practice against every day. So it only shines a spotlight when you playing teams like Detroit. Like, it won't be this hard against Dallas this week because their defensive backs are not at the level of Detroit.
Jason Avant with us. So, Jason, you mentioned this works when your players are winning, right? One-on-ones, and they're just better.
When they're better.
Yeah, when they're better. So let's unpack one of those players that for years he's just been better than everyone lined up against. That's A.J. Brown. So they threw it to him a lot on Sunday.
Yeah.
He got some catches, but it wasn't explosion. It wasn't, huge efficiency. When you're watching him, and again, this Sunday, I know it's cold and rainy and all that kind of stuff, are you seeing the explosion? Because, Jason, I guess it was this past week because the Lions and stuff. So somehow in my algorithm, I saw a clip of AJ's first game as an Eagle. That game in Detroit, 2022, first game of the season. And I know Detroit was a worse team then. That's probably part of what I was seeing. But I'm just seeing him open all game and explosion. He catches a slant and he's running through a guy, running past a guy. From my eye as a fan, he doesn't look as explosive to me. What are you seeing?
You're not going to get that same level of well, no, he doesn't look as explosive as when he first got here. But part of that is that defenses know what's coming. So they have a better anticipation of what's happening. Like, there was a time where it was like a 3rd and 6, and AJ was to the boundary, and he was only like a yard past the numbers, and that's not even a slant split. That's like an out split. But Rocky Yassin, the backup corner for the Lions, literally stepped 2 yards inside of AJ. Like, I know the slant's coming right now. Like, so part of that is the guys know what's coming, but also he needs to add to his repertoire. So it's a little bit of both. As you get older, you don't realize that it's a continued education. The stuff that worked when I was 25 doesn't work when I'm 28, 29, because I have to continue my education. So I have to know exactly what the defense is doing, and I have to add more moves to my repertoire. And I don't think AJ is advancing when it comes to adding things to his game. He wins with strength, and he wins with a 1-2 step, but he needs to add a little bit more to his game. For an example, there was a cover 4, but they pressed it. Cover 4 for the corner, he has to stay on top. A.J. Brown did like a move like you would do if a guy was in press coverage man-to-man and he can get beat underneath. That guy's not going for anything underneath because his job is to stay on top, and he wasn't aware of what the defense was giving him. So he has to grow too.
Let's go to the phone lines here. Will in the Northeast up with us, and Jason Avant. What's up, Will?
Will.
Dream team, how y'all doing today?
Will, what's up, pal?
How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Will?
Man. Now, Jay, I want to ask you something because, these guys keep laughing at me. But let me just say this. I was the one that advocated to bring the running back here. When everybody was looking for everybody else all last season, I kept saying we need to run the ball. You know why? Because the league wasn't ready for it, because the league got watered down. And that's why Saquon had the type of year that he had, right? But guess what? He could have that same type of year. But the whole thing is you got to open up the playbook, right? You got to expand the playbook. You got to activate all the players. But this is what I want to ask you, Jay. They keep laughing at me when I say run the I formation with Goddard at the fullback position, right? And Saquon in the backfield, right? That opens up so many people. Am I correct? Are you picturing what I'm saying?
I don't know how long Dallas Goedert is going to last doing that. So you got to think about the people that you're asking to do. You're asking for Dallas Goedert to basically essentially lead block, and even if he doesn't lead block, he's in a lead block position, so he's going to get tore up by linebackers that think he's blocking, and that's not the way you want to spend your money for Dallas Goedert.
Okay, but don't that open up a lot of like the far as the passing, far as the play action, far as everything else? Because it's not necessarily that we have to actually hand the ball to Saquon.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that if you go under center, you can get the same results that you're saying.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be Dallas Goedert that does it. But at times, can he do it? Yeah, I think there's a time for it. But I don't think that they want it's sort of like it's a best use scenario. So because A.J. Brown's our most physical receiver, do I ask him to block the backside defensive end all the time? Yeah, every once in a while, but I'm not going to have him do that all the time because I'm not going to waste my money having him do that when I can have someone else do it.
Okay, two more things real quick. Okay, well, AJ, this is what I say. You're going to be a Wes Welker type of Edelman receiver now. You know what I'm saying? We're going to ding and dunk you, third down plays. You guarantee the body of a lot of the defense, and you could catch that ball. So, listen, man, sometimes we got to get in where we fit in, man. And right now, that's where you fitting in at. You drawing the double team, the other receivers is getting open, so you're making an impact. And the last thing I want to say, man, the only way we're going to actually activate this offense and have everything running is when everybody is on one accord. We know what we got to do together, man, and we can't do it one person or the quarterback or the receiver. We all got to be in just like we was last year, man. Put the Eagles aside, man. Let the Eagles go and let the talent show. And
I like that, Will. What do you got for your combination of words, Will?
Come on, man. Everyone all over the world celebrate this every year, every day out of the year. How about happy birthday?
Happy birthday is a great answer. Well, that is a good job. And these answers are pretty darn good.
They're all right.
You don't like happy birthday as two words to go together?
It's all right.
How is that all right?
It's not, you know.
I mean, it is said every single day.
Yeah, it is.
Every single day.
Will may be the winner.
I mean, if Jason said it.
I mean, it feels like a winning answer.
Jason, whatever, dog. I mean, I'm not impressed.
All right, Jason. So Will's bringing some new ideas to the table to try to fix this off. Let me throw this at you.
Customer.
Hugh is a tough customer.
Whatever, dog.
He'll just give you full, honest answers when he doesn't like an answer. All right, what do you think about this? And it's a tricky one because no one wants to take Saquon Barkley off the field. But should Tank Bigsby get some more carries?
Oh,
Tank
stop
Bigsby.
it, you guys.
Hey, no, hold on. Hey, Jason, can I tell you?
He's explosive when he gets the football.
Hey, listen, I've been hearing it all week now. They've been talking about Tank Bigsby.
Jason, let me frame it like this. Let's say he gets 3 or 4 carries a week. Would it hurt to make it 5 or 6?
All right, so hold on. Here's the thing. You're expecting a guy that's pitching a whole game to have the same results as a guy that has to come in and throw one inning. That's what Tank is doing. He's going to throw as hard as he can. He doesn't have to pace himself for the entire game. So you guys are looking at it from a perspective because he's coming in with all this juice and all this energy. Yeah, you put him in that situation that Saquon's in. He's not going to be nearly as productive as Saquon. Do I think that Saquon can hit the hole a little bit more and all of those things? Yes. But I think that we're being a little bit of blindsided about what Tank is looking for an opportunity somewhere. He's going to run as hard as he possibly can, but asking him to do it hit after hit, I don't think that he's going to hold up in the same capacity as Saquon.
So that's an interesting way of framing it. How many more weeks of it, though, until you start wondering, is there something to it? Because we keep saying the offensive line, and we all see it, they struggle, right? Saquon's it's tough sledding, the holes aren't opening. Yet when Tank comes in, I think it's like 9 yards a carry since he got here. I mean, if it was 4.5 compared to 4, if it was 6 compared to 5, all right, whatever. That's not a big deal. 9 yards a carry. I mean, it's just hard to ignore when he comes in. It seems like it's a first down, and then they take him off the field.
Yeah, he's running like he got rent due. Like that's the comment that Eagles say. The rent is due. That's the way he's running. He's running like he runs straight through safeties. Like guys don't get blocked. Like Saquon sometimes, and you can see on tape. There's times where Saquon can hit it, but he hesitates a little bit. I don't know why. So. I understand the premise. Do I think that Saquon's the better player? That's what I think. Do I think do I think that Tank has done a good job? Yes. Do I think? Yeah. Yes, I do.
All right. We have a caller here, Matt in Germantown. I'm sure you've heard this before. Hugh Douglas likes to recklessly speculate on everything that goes on around here. So now we have a caller, Matt in Germantown, who wants to recklessly speculate. What do you got for us, Matt?
What's cracking? What's up? I got Kyle, my favorite barber. He cut me in line. I appreciate you. Diehard Julio, because you love dying on the hill, what you like.
Mm-hmm.
We got hungry Hugh today. You tearing that food up live and off session. We got Pastor Avant with us today.
Stop it, because I ain't even eat no
I hear that, man. Anyway, I like and Pastor Avant with us on Wednesdays for Bible study, because he seems like the only person positive and brings like understanding. So I just got 3 quick
stop
points.
it.
I bring understanding every day, dog. Stop
Every
it.
day.
No, you do not.
I do.
You on the defense, you're not the offense. I'm scared. Anyway, so my 3 points real quick. My first point is, we'll start off with the recklessly speculating. I think that they're keeping it vanilla, and Nick Sirianni going to take over for the playoffs. And he's going to shut everybody up about how
So he going to do what old boy did for, what's his name?
Dan Campbell.
He's going to pull Dan Campbell?
Yeah.
Pull a Dan Campbell.
But it's going to make more sense because this leads into my second question for Jason. What, Pre-tail specifically on opening up the playbook? Like, what does that specifically look like? Because now I'm confused. If we're going out here saying we're going to open the playbook up and we throw in basic route combinations, I'm really kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle. That's a good one.
I like it. All right, so open up the playbook can be a lot of different things, but there's things that coaches want to run, and then there's things that they feel that players can run. And having no limits has to do with your quarterback being able to handle a lot of stuff. And usually what that is there's a lot of motion, there's a lot of crossing, there's a lot of working together in layers with players, right? So you can have 2 guys running down the field. One goes left, one goes right at 10 and at 12 yards. And you have to be able to read the underneath defenders in a split second. Open up the playbook means that from every person in the league. Having nuance and creativity to it, but it's hard to read from a quarterback position. So that's what that would mean. Now, being aggressive is something totally different. That's just taking shots down the field. That is, giving your guys a chance and maybe in a 2nd and 1 instead of running for a first down, trying to get an explosive play. After a big play, can they, throw it down the field again? So there's the 2 different things. Do I think that we can really open up the playbook? I haven't seen that in multiple years.
Oh, my goodness. My third final point is, what about the quarterbacks coach we recently, hired, too? Because I heard that he was really good. I did my little researching over the internet, and you people were saying that he's a really good quarterback, understanding he has a really good offense and where he came from. I forget what college he was.
It was Bowling Green. He came from Bowling Green.
Oh, Bowling Green.
Yeah, lefty. Yeah, Scott. So Scott is great at play calling, great at mobile quarterbacks, has succeeded pretty much everywhere that he's gone as either an offensive coordinator and or head coach. He was at Michigan with me, oddly enough. He was the quarterbacks coach when I was at Michigan. So I know him well, and I know how hard he works. So do I believe in his ability? I believe he would be a great offensive coordinator, to tell you that. He would be a great offensive coordinator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, cool.
Patullo,
he had Harold Fanning.
I got my new name now. I want this guy to call the place. Matt, what's your answer for us for the 2 words that go together?
Well, because Hugh is on a rampage right now. We got to go with the little young millennial Ebonics. He's a glizzy gobbler.
Glizzy gobbler.
You know what? We used to be cool. We used to be cool. We ain't cool.
It's a good answer today, considering. You are on a rampage with the Glizzies the last couple of days, Hugh. That's
Hey, Matt. There's some good little hot dogs, man. That's why I've been breaking them apart.
He had to change his name right there, man. You see him, man?
Being called a glizzy guy, but that ain't cool.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's wild.
Did we ever tell Jason about the glizzy thing or no?
Oh, that I break them apart?
He breaks them apart. He won't eat a hot dog just like a hot dog, Jason.
Oh, you can't go, headlong like that. You got to
Jason get it.
Yeah, I break up bananas, hot dogs, all that.
Oh, you're the same way?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are out of control. But all right, the glizzies here, Jason. There are mini glizzies.
Matt can't call no more for
No, Matt's a top caller after that. He got you. All right, before we wrap our hour up, Jason, Sunday in Dallas against the Cowboys. It was a game I would have said 4 weeks ago, blowout. And now I believe the Eagles are going to win the game, but I feel like this might be a little tougher than I anticipated a few weeks ago. Dallas has Quinnen Williams now. They got Overshown back. We know they can move the ball, especially at home.
Yeah.
And the Eagles' offense not playing great. How do you view this game Sunday, Eagles at Cowboys?
I think the Eagles should win this game. When you look at the game against the Raiders, everyone is, so hyped because they have Quinnen Williams. Now, Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams is a problem. Like, that's a real problem, and they dominate that ball game against the Raiders. But the Raiders really gave up, 3 just blown coverage touchdowns. One to CeeDee Lamb, a guy didn't cover to cover 3. 1-2 Ferguson right over the middle, nobody covered him, and then just missed tackles with the Pickens. So those are not going to happen with the Eagles, just not at this stage of the season. So I think the Cowboys have a good offense, right? They're ranked really high when it comes to points per game, but they're equally bad in defending the pass and or the run at times. So I think the Eagles should win this game. If you can go out and play as well as you did against the Lions, who has certified Pro Bowlers on the offensive line, and at the tight end position with Laporta when he's healthy, and at receiver position, if you can do that against that offense, I think our defense can handle the Cowboys. And they don't have the explosive element outside of Turpin, Cavante Turpin, that Jameson Williams and Jahmyr Gibbs have. So it's a totally different ball game. I think our defense can handle it pretty easily.
Well, we have Vic, and if we have Vic Fangio, we're in good shape. Jason, we appreciate it, as always. On with us Wednesdays from 12 to 1. Jason, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, gents. Great seeing you.
Have a good one, man.
Great talking to you guys.
Always fun.
Always.
The Lunch Hour with Jason Avant was brought to you by Walnut Street Smiles at Chestnut Dental Studio, part of the Dudat Dental Group, official dentist of the Philadelphia Eagles.